I'm going to talk about whether getting surgery in your car accident case or any personal injury case may get you more money. I emphasize the word may because there's no guarantee that getting surgery will get you more money. The most common situation where surgery may increase your compensation is if you have clear liability. That means the person who caused your accident was 100% responsible for causing it. The most common example of that is a rear-end car accident. A rear-end collision is the most frequent scenario where surgery may get you more money. But this assumes that the other driver tells their insurance company that they're at fault. Maybe they'll tell their insurance company something like, "I wasn't paying attention and I hit the other driver." When I say that there's times where surgery may get you more money, I'm referring to the net settlement after your case settles. That's the amount that you get in your pocket after you pay the following: your lawyer's fee, if you have one, and paying all your medical bills and other expenses. Knowing what your net settlement will be is so important because it might not be good for you if getting surgery gets you a bigger total settlement but puts less money in your pocket. There's another thing that you'll need for surgery to increase your net settlement. That's the amount of money in your pocket. The injuries you're having surgery for generally need to be 100% related to the accident or very close to it. I'm going to review a situation where it's often easy to prove that surgery is completely related to the accident. In this situation, the insurance company usually won't put up a huge fight about whether the accident caused your need for surgery. The situation is when you have a fracture, which is a broken bone. On the other hand, it's usually harder to prove that your surgery is related to an accident if you're having surgery due to neck pain or back pain. The same is often true if you're having surgery on a tear of a ligament, tendon, or muscle. One other circumstance where surgery may lead to a higher net settlement for you is if there's enough insurance to pay your claim. I'll explain. You see, in many car accidents, one of the major problems is that drivers are very underinsured and often uninsured. That means they may not have enough liability insurance that will pay you for your injuries. This is very true in a state like Florida where most drivers don't have to carry any bodily injury liability insurance. I'm going to show you an example of a real case that I settled where surgery increased the amount of money that my client got in her pocket. We'll call my client Maria, and she broke her leg in an accident. Maria had surgery to her leg. She hired me. We worked on the case with another law firm. Her doctor also said she'd need a future surgery, which was a knee replacement. During the lawsuit, we settled for $1.2 million. If we take that same case without surgery, the settlement would have been much smaller. It would have been a fraction of that amount. Here's something else to note. Even if you have surgery, you may still have to sue in your case. Getting surgery doesn't mean that the careless driver or company's insurance company is just going to hand you money. You need to show that their insured was careless and that caused you to have surgery. When valuing cases, insurance companies assign a certain value to the pain and suffering part of your claim. They look at past jury verdicts and settlements for your same injury. For example, if you have a fusion surgery to your back or neck, the full settlement value of pain and suffering is usually between $300,000 and $500,000. You then add that amount to your medical bills that you owe and lost wages. Next, you may need to reduce that value by certain factors. These include if it's hard to show that someone else was careless, if you're at fault, or if it's tough to prove that the accident caused your need for surgery. But here's the kicker. Even if the pain and suffering amount is within a certain range, it doesn't mean that the insurance company is going to pay you for it. Sometimes the insurance company will deny liability and force you to sue them. That is, if you want a chance at getting paid. Or sometimes their first offer will be a fraction of what your case is worth. For example, let's say that you're in a car accident and have fusion surgery to your spine. Let's say your case is worth $400,000 or so. That's for the pain and suffering and your out-of-pocket medical bills and lost wages. There's a chance that the insurance company makes a first offer of $100,000 or so. Or maybe they'll deny blame and offer you zero. Insurance companies use the same arguments over and over in accident cases. They may say that you already had the injury from before before the accident. Or they may say that the accident was so minor, it couldn't have caused your need for surgery. There's another hurdle that you may face in your case even if you've had surgery. Some states require your injury to be permanent for you to be entitled to pain and suffering compensation. Florida is one of these states in many car and truck accident claims. Typically, the careless person or business's insurance company will hire a doctor who will likely say that your injury isn't permanent. They'll also often claim that your injury wasn't caused by the accident. Sometimes you haven't yet had surgery, but the insurance company is offering you money to settle. It's often best to wait to settle if you're still getting medical treatment. For example, in my $1.2 million settlement that I mentioned earlier, our client was done with most of her medical treatment when we settled. Thus, we knew the full extent of her injury. Insurance companies may make you an offer and then try to get you to lower your demand. Your settlement demand is the amount that you're demanding or asking to settle for. If you're going to get surgery soon, you may want to consider waiting to lower your demand until after you've had the surgery. That way you'll know the full extent of your injury. Once you go through with the surgery, the insurance company is much more likely to make you a higher offer. But this assumes three things. Their insured was careless, your surgery is related to your accident, and there's enough insurance to make you a larger offer. If the careless person or company has insurance, it will have a certain limit. The insurance company is most likely to pay you that limit if the following happens. Their insured is clearly at fault, your surgery is related to the accident, and your medical bills, lost wages, and pain and suffering are worth more than the policy limit. For example, take my client Ryan's case where he was driving straight. A car was heading in the opposite direction and made a left turn. Ryan crashed into it. The driver who violated Ryan's right-of-way had a $100,000 insurance limit. I got them to pay the $100,000 limit for 3 reasons. Their insured was clearly at fault. Number 2, Ryan's injury was clearly related to the crash. And 3, Ryan's pain and suffering alone was worth more than the driver's $100,000 policy limit. In the past 2 or so years, pain and suffering values have increased for most injuries. This is the first time in my 19-year career that I've seen this happen. The average jury verdict for pain and suffering has been larger. I think it's mainly due to inflation since things have gotten so freaking expensive. $10,000 gets you a lot less than it did 10 years ago. Again, there's no guarantee at all that you'll get a penny for your case, but all things equal, surgery substantially increases the settlement value of a case. For example, take 100 cases with no surgery where someone else caused someone's injury, and then take 100 cases with surgery. The 100 cases with surgery will typically be worth sizably more. Let's look at some of my past settlements just to show you how surgery increased the value of the claim. If you look at my past settlements, one of the things you're going to notice is that almost every large settlement that I've had involved surgery. For example, my client was in an accident and broke her ankle in 3 places. One of the insurance companies for the business that I claimed was careless did something that happens all too often. They denied fault. Then the first offer we got on the case was bad. It was like $131,000 or so. It was low because she had around $100,000 in medical bills. Also, the full value of pain and suffering of fracturing your 3 ankle bones is between $300,000 and $500,000. So even if we assume that the party who I claimed was careless was 50% at fault for the accident, my client would be entitled to 50% of the full case value. But the insurance company wasn't even offering us half the value of her case. Through a hard-fought battle, we settled her case for $670,000. There's 2 lessons from that story. First, surgery increased the value of her case enormously. If she had an ankle fracture without surgery, the settlement would have been much less. And second, insurance companies often make a very low first offer, even in surgery cases. They want you to think that the value of your surgery case is close to their first offer, and often it's not. But adjusters often tell me that many people without lawyers often take the first offer or an amount close to it. That's a huge mistake. They make this mistake because they don't know how much surgery may increase the value of their case. In another case, a car struck my client. My client broke 3 bones in his ankle. He had surgery. The careless driver's insurance Geico offered just $100,000. I told them, not a chance. I took an aggressive stance, and ultimately we got a $350,000 settlement. Now, if we take that same case, but he didn't have surgery, the payout would have been much smaller. surgery was the largest value driver in that case. The surgery increased my client's medical bills and his pain and suffering, which increased the value of the case. I also ordered the 911 call, and you could hear the driver saying, "I hit a man on a bike." That was great for our case. The thing is, even if you have surgery, so many people don't get paid fair value because they don't use a simple claim trick. I've used this proven tactic to get combined settlements of several $1 million in surgery cases. I expose what this tactic is in the video that's on screen now and linked in the description below, so watch it now. And if you've been injured in Florida or on a cruise and you think that someone else is at fault, click the link in the description below to see if I could be the lawyer for you.